So moving on to principle number 6, kind of our sixth step to move from where we are to financial freedom, our path to financial freedom. We have to bring passion to work. We have to bring passion to work. To find success and overcome your failure, you must combine a passion for the results you are looking to provide with a burning desire to achieve those goals. There's got to be that passion. Braxton, I've heard that you've been nicknamed Spock by your high school basketball coach for your analytical nature.
Yeah.
And I know working with you, it was kind of funny. We worked together. People were like, "You two work together?" Because you have a stereotype for being low key. I have a stereotype for being like hyper all the time. Yeah. And there's different sides of our personality that people don't see, but people get that first impression. How do you demonstrate your passion and your burning desire to achieve your goals right now, like within, let's say, ministry?
Yeah. Well, again, I see it as if the actions that I'm doing day to day, let's say 80% of what I do leads towards somewhere that I want to go, then I'm happy. I'm not necessarily trying to get it all happening at once. But if I look at something and I don't like what I do 80% of the time, or I don't see it paying off for me later, no matter how much money I'm making, I'm not interested in doing that thing. I'm just going to stay away from it altogether, because if I'm passionate about what I'm doing and where it's going to lead me in the future, then that's a good decision. That's a passion that you have if you're enjoying even the preparation. For me, I like public speaking in a way where it's something that I've prepared and I've public speak. And so what I do is most of the time is I'm preparing for that moment.
Yeah.
And I enjoy preparing for the moment. If I didn't enjoy preparing for the moment, I'd be out.
Yeah.
I'd completely not even do it.
I've noticed that for me, for passion, what I've noticed is when I'm like talking to a banker, I have to dial down my natural just a desire to be crazy sometimes. I like to joke with people, have a lot of fun, and so if get left to my own devices, I would somewhere vacillate between Will Ferrell, probably Will Ferrell, and then meets Dave Letterman. That's where I would naturally just kind of would be. Yeah. But sometimes I have to dial up humor, dial it down. Right. I've got to dial up the passion I demonstrate through my face or my visuals. Sometimes I have to dial it down. I think, but you got to be very careful. If you own a business right now, if the people who work for you perceive that you're not passionate, they're not going to stay with you very long.
Right.
Or if the investor perceives you're not passionate about something, they're not going to put in money. And there has to be that you just have to be aware of how people perceive that. Do they perceive you're passionate? Now, how has your passion for achieving big goals helped you in your career? Because I know that you've done, commercial real estate, let's get into that one. Typically from the time that you call somebody to the time you get paid, 6 months, a year?
Yeah, can be.
So how have you been able to use your passion to press on? When it's just taken forever. You start that new job in commercial real estate and it's taken months to get that first deal done. How have you harness that passion to keep you going?
Well, again, I keep score. Somehow you just keep score. Like you write things down and you see how something that you do today will benefit you, even if it's 6 months or a year from then, like how it's going to benefit you. And, money is a great way of keeping score. It's a really good way of keeping score, and it's not greed or anything like that. You've got to love what you do, and if you love what you do and then keep score with something like money, and there's other ways to keep score too within a career, but you keep score and it gives you that kick start. It gives you that passion to keep going even when things aren't easy or when things seem to like they're too far off. You just keep that.
You found a way to keep score though. And then also one thing I want to show you, just an example, I want you to show your day planner as well. Yeah. Every entrepreneur I know has a day planner. This is mine, and I just want to point this out here for you. Right here you'll see Napoleon Hill Foundation. My son is named after Napoleon Hill. And a life goal in my life has always been to work with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Don, if you're watching this,
the Napoleon Hill Foundation will eventually work with me in some capacity.
But I was calling Don, reaching out to Don, calling Don. No feedback. Don is the head of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. the book that forever changed my life. This book here, where is it? Eep, here he is. This book, read this book. A boss said, you have to read this book or you're going to be fired. That was the terms in which this book was given to me. It has totally changed my life. Yesterday at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, guess who calls? Don from the Napoleon Hill Foundation. He says, Mr. Clark, we want to see if we can work something out to work with you guys. Oh, yes. Now, I can't say it's going to happen or not, but I've had it on my to-do list for years to reach out to Don. And I have to fun for me. If I don't write it down, it doesn't happen.
That's right.
I've got to find a way to do it. And if you look here, you can kind of zoom in. There's just little things here, but the elephant in the room, we're growing this men's grooming lounge, and Braxton helped us do the lease on our property. But look at this. We've got to lower the ceilings at the South Tulsa location. We've got to fix our order forms. We have to mount prints. We have to fix the software. These are all things that have to happen. Yep. And they won't seem like wins, but I have to keep score.